Welcome back to Bee's Travelogue, episode 13. After having gone on the cable car ride and one day walking all the way along the shore to the downtown area, I decided to go back and explore the old area of Mokpo with its very narrow alleys. These are areas where people still live. There's laundry outside, there are people going about their daily business. If you are going as a visitor, remember to stay respectful and quiet. I was surprised that even though it was December, I still found flowers and vegetables and even some insects on the flowers. My entire time in South Korea, I never saw one squirrel, but I saw lots of cats and dogs. And in these neighborhoods, it's very important to stay calm when there are dogs approaching. Some of them are barking quite a lot, but most of them do not bite. Most of the time, I climbed steep staircases because I wanted to see where they were leading, and I also liked the view that I discovered whenever I walked up. One time, an older Korean lady asked me if I was by myself. I said yes. She motioned that I shouldn't go further. I don't know if it was a dead end or if there was another reason, but I turned around and walked back down and found another way out of this area. In between the houses still lived in, there were quite a few that were in ruins, which were also quite interesting to me. I'm sure that a lot of them will be replaced, but I do find there is a very unique charm in these areas. And for me, exploring these parts of the town were really the most exciting. I had gone early in the morning, so I was starting to get hungry and headed back down toward the main road and found this charming cafe and had a piece of cheesecake and some coffee. I wasn't done exploring, so I left the main road and headed back into the narrow alleys. I walked up this hill and discovered a school. I kept going up and east, sort of circling around Yudal Sun Mountain. All these houses are on the slopes, and I was looking southward toward the river. As usual, when seeing pretty flowers, I stopped to take some pictures and get a close-up of a bee. I hadn't been to Busan yet, but really Mokpo is very colorful and quite charming as well. So if you plan on going to South Korea, I definitely recommend checking out Mokpo. In other cities that are more known and more traveled, residents have marked on Google Map where to find special alleys that have been painted. But in Mokpo, they're still mostly unmarked, so you have to go exploring. I found this very steep area by accident and walked down and took pictures of all the colorful houses and all the artwork on the side. It was very beautiful. Again, I came across parts that were in ruins and being demolished. I took some of the side alleys, which ended up being dead ends and either leading to ruined houses or people's homes. This series of artwork was spread out over this alleyway. I put them all next to each other, but in reality, you have to really climb the stairs or go down the stairs to find them all. I went almost all the way down and then decided that I really wanted to be back on the top for the view and to see what else I could find. So after going all the way down the stairs, I turned around and walked back up. I often thought that it was like being in a K-drama. I had seen so many foot chases through these narrow alleys in different towns. At this junction here, I went to the right and followed another series of really narrow and colorful alleys. About here, I turned to the right and downhill again. This is where there was a very loud barking dog, and you can see him now sticking his head out behind me through that cross in a second. There he is. And close up again. This area had a lot of dead ends, so I had to turn back and felt bad when I made dogs bark again, but I tried to be respectful and explore everywhere I could go. Nature was definitely reclaiming a part of this area. As I rounded the mountains, I had views of areas that I decided I wanted to explore in the future. I saw the Yudal Sun cable car station. I was surprised to see how many people surrounded their property with glass shards or barbed wire. Here's another view across Mokpo to the church and a temple area that I explored much later during my year. Here were more dogs that stared at me. It was a little bit intimidating, but most of the time I just stayed calm and walked away. I finally left the narrow alleys and walked down to find the school. There were paintings of Gadbari rocks and the cable car. I found the tiniest fire hydrant next to the school and next to this fence. This is actually a historic elementary school. I was reading the signs and marked places that I would explore in the future. I love looking at old photos of towns and sometimes wish that I could have visited in earlier times. I definitely wanted to see all of this in the spring and summertime, so I was looking forward to exploring at that point. I was heading back toward downtown Mokpo and the more modern area with the train station to catch the bus back to Namak. I found these street decorations everywhere and planned to come back one night to see them lit up. Before I caught the bus, I stopped at one of the cafes I'd been to once before and had a strawberry smoothie. Thanks for watching, and please join me for episode 14.